Good evening, Diamond. Welcome to our virtual town hall. We have some really important and exciting updates to share with you today. First of all, Hope High School is getting ready to go back to school. And let me tell you what that means exactly in the next few slides. And we are all about talking about our big term 4 changes. And I am sure that you and your students are going to be just as excited as our teachers and we are about the changes for term 4. We know that there are so many changes in the world going on right now. We're looking forward to a vaccine sometime soon, and we are looking forward to one day soon coming back to school in reality and in person. And that hasn't happened yet, and that's not happening yet for term 4, but we are preparing for that. And as such, we are going to be having classes. Classes are going to be scheduled. Students are going to have some work that they're doing online independently, and classes that they will also be attending virtually or in our enhanced learning lab or by phone. And we're going to tell you all the details about that right now. And before I say anything else, let's get our introductions going, because you're like, who is this woman? If you have
Before we do that, though, if you have questions or comments during the live stream, please pop them into the comments, whether you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, and we can address them either during the stream or we'll catch up at the very end. And so that's if you're watching live right now. But now on to introductions.
Hello, this woman, I am Mrs. O'Connell. I am the principal of Hope High School, and there's my email on the screen.
And I am, oh, our faces are moving. I'm Mr. Buehner-Kemper. I'm the assistant principal of Hope High School.
And I'm Mr. Portillo, Dean of Students of Hope High School. There's my information.
And if you are tuning into this as a recording rather than live, feel free to give us a call or shoot us an email. Even though we are closed during break, we'll talk about that a little bit too, please give us a call. You can leave a message and we will return your call as soon as we get it, which we are still going to be working through break, just not answering the phones the same way. So, all right. So, got some big changes. Mrs. O'Connell is going to start us off.
Okay, so we kind of talked about it just a little bit, but I want you guys to know, for starting in January 4th to be precise, every student will have a schedule that matches the schedule that they have as if they were in campus live. Morning schedule is 8 to noon. Afternoon schedule is 12 to 4. The schedule that you get is going to be based on the survey results that you filled out online at the beginning of I believe it was July and August, the beginning of the school year. And if you enrolled after that, then we'll go ahead and set you up with a morning schedule, unless you'd prefer a different schedule, in which case just give us a call and we'll make that happen for you. If you prefer the 12 to 4 schedule, remember, it is still virtual with exceptions. Okay, the daily student schedule would be, if you are and I have hours here for the morning or the afternoon shift. The first hour of the first block, students are going to work on their first class online. So from 8 to 9 a.m. or at noon to 1, students will work on their first class online, and teachers may be contacting students and will be contacting them on the first day to let them know to get online and for any interventions that may happen. And then at 9 o'clock, students will be in their first virtual class with their teacher, and I'll tell you how they can get on that class, and it's virtual with exceptions, I'll say, and in just a moment. From 10 to 11 or 2 to 3 p.m. if you're an afternoon student, students are going to be working on their second class online, and teachers may be contacting students for interventions at that time, doing one-on-one tutoring, that kind of stuff. And on the first day, that's when teachers will be reaching out to students and reminding them, hey, get on this class. You might not even know that you have my class scheduled, but guess what? Now you know. And this is how you get on my class that very first day. So that's how you can feel comfortable about getting getting to class. Expect an email and expect either a call or a text, depending on what the teacher's capabilities are. And then at 11 to 12 or 3 to 4 p.m., students are going to be in their second virtual class with their teacher. And it's going to be exciting, interactive. It's going to have social emotional learning. It's going to have whatever their subject matter is. And it's going to be 50% of their grade. And we're going to talk about that in just a little bit.
So you might be wondering already.
We can't hear you, Mr. B.
Can you hear me now?
There you go.
Still can't.
Your audio might be off, Mrs. O'Connell.
Is it me?
Might be. You might be wondering if you're an offline, and how you would do that. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But your offline work would still be the same as what you have. We would just ask that you work on during that time so that you're prepared, and then you can participate in the class. And we'll tell you how you can participate even if you're an offline student. All right.
Oh yeah, so our virtual class, as you can see, as Ms. O'Connell was saying, our class schedule, our school schedule has changed. Will be changed for term 4. The virtual class options, this is a must, people. Students must participate in Google Meet's virtual class every day. And like Ms. O'Connell mentioned, class participation is worth half of that, 50% of the grade. So it's super important that you make every single effort you can to participate in these Google Meets. Here are multiple ways of joining in. Virtually on a computer or a tablet, you might have one. By calling in by phone, it has the capacity to do that. Or by coming into the teacher's classroom or the enhanced learning lab. Limited capacity, so make sure you call in to reserve your spot so you can be with your teacher and getting your work done.
And I just wanted to, I don't know if you have the capability of going back to the schedule of classes now that we're talking about it, just so everybody can take another look at them. And I wanted to make a change here where it says students work on first class online. They could also be working on their first class on paper.
Yeah.
Right.
That's your work at home, individual time where you're just getting your stuff done.
Yeah, exactly.
And then at 9 o'clock, that's the expectation.
Correct.
To be in class, not until 9 a.m.
Correct.
And then not again until 11 a.m., although you should be working in between. So your two virtual class times will be 9 o'clock and 11 o'clock, or if you're a PM student, 1 o'clock and 3 o'clock. 9 and 11, 1 and 3. Those are the class times.
Yeah, and the other times you would be working on your class if you're online, you work it on Ingenuity or Alex, or if you're on paper. And your teacher, if you're working online, your teacher will be kind of checking, are they logged in? Are they working on stuff? They can tell those things. And they're going to be giving you a call and making sure you're logging in. And if you're an offline student, they'll likely be giving you a call and say, hey, make sure you're working on your offline packets right now. And I'll see you at 9 o'clock, or I'll see you at, when it's time for class. On the first day of school specifically, this is kind of how it's going to get going. Your student schedules are going to be available on the Bling page. If you don't know what the Bling page is, we'll show you a little bit later, but it's basically how you can see all of your class list, your teacher's contact information, all of that stuff. You'll be able to see, there'll be a new spot there that shows your Google Meets link. It'll show the phone number to call in to the meeting if you can't do a virtual, like face-to-face. It'll show what times that classes are supposed to be, when your work time is, and when your class time is. It'll show those things. It'll also show, of course, the course names, and it'll show your teacher's name and their phone number, their email address, and how to contact them and all of that. During that first hour of the first day, and in the first hour of each 2-hour block, you can expect a phone call or a text message, possibly an email from your teacher, checking in on you and reminding you about your virtual class that's coming up. So on Monday, January 4th, log into Bling, check out what your classes are, log into Edgenuity, Alex, or whatever it is, be ready. And then at 9 o'clock, you'll have your first class, unless you're an afternoon student, and your first class will be at 1 o'clock. During that first hour of each 2-hour block, you will work on your classes. And, on the first day especially, you can work on any unfinished benchmarks for like Galileo or your AccuPlacer, and you need to make sure those are completed so that you can get your classes back. No classes are dropped until those benchmarks are completed, those pre-tests. So make sure you get those done. And then in that second hour of each 2-hour block, that's when you'll join that virtual class. And you can use the link that you see on your Bling page or the phone number, again, on the Bling page. And then we'll talk about if you need to be on campus for that because you're not able to call in or you're not able to be, log in virtually on your computer. Here's some instructions on how you can schedule to be on campus. Because as Mr. Portillo said, there's limited space. Oh, and I lied. I'm sorry. It says the next slide, but the next slide is something different. So let me switch it around. Sorry. Here we go. All right. Yes. Here's the next slide.
So for Enhanced Learning Lab scheduling, it's pretty easy. All you got to do is call the front office and schedule a spot in your teacher's class on campus. And your spot will be reserved for you as long as you attend. And so if you want to come to campus today, tomorrow, the next day, so long as you keep coming, that spot is reserved for you. And once you stop coming, you'll give up that spot, and then you'll have to contact us again to reserve a new spot. If a teacher is off campus for a day, just so you know, because we follow strict COVID protocols and safety protocols. If a teacher is off campus for a day, we will either find another space in another teacher's classroom for you, or we'll go ahead and contact you and let you know that that spot is not available for you for that day.
Yeah.
And on the previous slide, I just want to apologize again. It said Edgenuity or Alex, but that could also include offline packets. I know those are popular with some of our students. Our teachers sometimes do really write great work, and they seem to find it makes sense to them. And so that's okay too, but you'll still need to join our virtual classes somehow. And the first hour of every 2-hour block is to work on your work, and the second hour is to join into class.
I before I continue with the next piece about how to access your Bling page, I do see a couple comments, and we'll get to your questions. They're really important. We'll have a moment a little bit later to get to them. So again, we mentioned your Bling page. The Bling page, if you have not already seen it, is how you can check your course list, what courses you're supposed to have. It's how you check who your teachers are. It's how you check how to contact your teacher, who your advisor is, all of those things, how you submit your time logs. This is how you will access your Google Meets classes. The links will show up here. It is not there yet. And so if you look now, you're not going to see it for next term yet. We're still working on those things. But this is how you can log in. You're going to go to hopehighschool.org and click on Students, which just takes you to our student portal. And there you will see a blue button with some cool diamonds on there that say Bling. And when you click on that, it'll take you to a login page with your last name and your birth date. And hopefully you know both of those things. And I'm assuming you do. As long as you do, that will get you into your Bling page, which has your list of courses, your teacher's name, contact information, the link, and the phone number for how to call in or log into your virtual classes. It'll also show you what times those are, so that if you can't remember what exact time it is, it'll show you how to do that. And again, what times those classes are is dependent on whether you're a morning or an AM student or an afternoon or PM student. That is based on the survey you completed at the beginning of the school year. If you don't remember which you are, just give your advisor shoot them an email real fast, and they'd be happy to either tell you which one you are, or if you just want to tell them whether you prefer morning or afternoon, that's fine too. Shoot them an email. Their contact information is also on your Bling page, or you can find it on our school website, hopehighschool.org. All righty.
Are we ready to answer that question that's in the chat?
Yes. Well, so, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, okay. So Thank you for asking. What about the students that work during school hours? And so you're saying, Manuel, that you are going to have trouble making it to those 2 virtual calls. I understand that. Why don't you go ahead and give us a call and we'll come up with a plan for you utilizing the recorded footage of those 2 virtual calls. We are going to be recording all of those virtual classes and we'll figure out a plan that works for you for now. And then once we return to school in person, we'll see what your schedule is like. And if the online option is still the best option for you, then we'll chat about what those options are, and we will come up with the plan that works best for you.
Absolutely.
Oh, great question from Jasmine as well. Mr. B, do you want to answer that, or would you like me to answer that?
Yeah, I can answer it. Kind of like what I just said. If you aren't sure whether you're an AM or PM student, totally fine. It's not from previous years, so if you're a previous student, that doesn't necessarily carry over. But again, you would want to contact your advisor. It is based on what you provided to us at the beginning of the school year. I would tell you to go look at the Bling page, but I don't think it shows you right now. So I would just give your advisor a phone call or shoot them an email. Again, their information can be found on the school website, hopehighschool.org. And under, if you click on students to get to the student portal, there's a whole advising page with all of their contact information on it. So,
or you could just call the school and let them know, hey, regardless of what I put down on the survey, I need to be an AM student or I need to be a PM student. And the sooner you can call us and let us know if you have a preference, that would be better so that they don't have to remake your schedule over the break. That would be so swell if you could give us a call tomorrow. Otherwise, if you did not complete a survey in July or August because you started at our school a little bit later and you didn't do a preference survey online, then we're just going to put you in the 8 to 12 shift. And if that doesn't work for you, go ahead and give us a call as soon as possible and say, no, the 12 to 4 shift is better for me. Remember, you just have to be online for those 2 hours, or you just have to be in a class virtually by phone call or in person for 2 of the hours of the day, however it's convenient for you. And again, if you have any scheduling challenges, give us a call and we will work something out individually for you as needed using the class footage. But unless you work something out with us, we are expecting all students to go ahead and be in class. We want you to be in class because eventually school will be back in session again. We are hoping in the future at some point to be able to offer an evening after hours makeup lab as well for those students who work during school hours. But because of all of the changes and weirdness and everything, we haven't really been able to do that yet. So we may be able to do something that includes watching the videos and maybe having some one-on-one tutoring time when it's more convenient for you when you're not at work. We can do that too.
Definitely.
I will be contacting families over the break. I kind of wanted to make it my mission to reach out to all of you and let you know that we have some changes. And so what I'll be doing is any phone number that you guys have put in the system as a cell phone number or really any other number, I'll go ahead and send you a text, because what we've learned is that that is our family's favorite way of communicating. And so we want to honor you guys. And so honestly, it's my favorite way too. And so when teachers ask me, I prefer a text as well. And so that's okay. I'm going to go ahead and text all of my families this winter break sometime to wish you a happy holidays and to wish you a happy new year, and that I'm excited for you to join us in January 4th. On January 4th, excuse me. And I will also be making phone calls. And so if you see a strange call come through, it may be me. If you answer, that's great. And if you don't, I'll just leave you a message. And further updates, will be Wednesday, December 30th. We're going to have another town hall just like this. If there are no updates, we're just going to really quickly go through this same slideshow and answer any questions. If there are updates, I'll have Mr. B send that out as part of the text reminder.
Yes, indeed.
Indeed.
If you haven't already, I recommend that you subscribe to the Facebook page or YouTube channel that you're watching this stream on so that you can get the notification. I sound like one of those YouTubers that's like, hit subscribe now. I don't know where the button is, but I recommend that you click it wherever it is so that you can get notified. I think on YouTube you need to hit the bell. You just need to like on Facebook. I don't know. I'm sure you know better than I. But subscribe so that you get the notification. If you aren't already getting our notifications through text messages and emails, and you probably heard my voice and my kids screaming in the background on a phone call tonight. But we hope to see you on that town hall. In case you have other questions, we'd love to answer them as best that we can. We did have another question, and so I'm going to pop that up here. Jasmine asks, so the virtual classes just on a call, doing work, doing everything, or is it interacting with our teachers? That's a great question. What it'll be is it's going to actually be a class with your teacher. And so, yeah.
Bell work, like, all that stuff you love. Bell work, a lesson, an objective, group things. You're going to be on a team with other students, working stuff out, learning how to do really cool stuff that impacts not only passing those big tests at the end and graduating and being successful, but also is going to be fun and is going to be connected to the real world. It's going to be something that benefits you, and it's going to be learning also the things that the state thinks that is important for you to learn as well, because those do intersect sometimes, and we're going to make that happen. It's going to be a real class.
Yeah.
We're going to come to class, and your teacher's going to be there and say, hey, welcome to class. Let's get to know each other. Let's talk about our rules and expectations. It's the first day of school. It'll be class.
It'll be related to whatever that teacher teaches. So for example, if you have a math class for that first block, it'll be focused on the math class. And as you know, if you've been to Hope High School on campus before, we've got lots of different students in the same classroom with different classes. And so it will span all of those different classes. And our teachers are getting really creative with how to work that together. We're really excited on how that's going to look. But English, same thing. Science, same thing. All the different subjects, all the different teachers are getting real creative with how to integrate their classes at the same time. And so I hope that you're excited for that. We hope that you're looking forward to it. We miss seeing you and all of that. So.
We miss our kids. We miss students. This is not an online school necessarily. Yeah. This is a live school. This is a real school. It's every day you come to school. Yeah. We miss you coming to school every day. Now, some days you come to school and you're in your class and you're working on your stuff remotely. And other days you come to school and, hey, we've got a great, amazing lesson. Well, every day now you're going to have some time that you're working remotely. Well, that's most kids in America have to do some of their work just on the computer, watching a video, getting your Edgenuity classes done, which are a little shorter now. And then you're going to have your virtual classes, which is going to make up for some of that stuff that's maybe not an Edgenuity, because it's so much more fun to learn about it with your class.
Yeah.
And even if you're on the phone, some of the stuff that you can do is just on a phone app. Cool, just do this phone app and we've got you. And some of the stuff is cool if you're on the screen, if you're willing to share your face, or even if you're not willing to share your face, share maybe like some picture of you or your name at least and your voice, and watch what the teacher's got going on in their Pear Deck and answer questions by texting the answers. That's what we're doing. We're texting answers to each other. We're Pear Decking. We're moving little dots around. We're thumbs upping. We're making sure we're doing a virtual whiteboard so you can see the math problems worked out and you can write on that Jamboard really just like your teacher can. You could do that through the phone. You could do that through the computer. If those options don't work for you, schedule to be on campus if you feel safe that way. Definitely masks, definitely a lot of protocols that you'll have to follow, temperature checks, the whole shebang. But then you can be in the classroom, and that may mean you're on the computer because you're also doing all the cool stuff that all your classmates are doing on the computer. But it's together. Your teacher's leading it. Your teacher's saying, okay, next we're going to do this cool thing. Next, we're going to do this personality assessment and see how we learn best. What team is going to be the coolest team for you to work on? And if you're a kid who's like quiet and doesn't want to like share out, you can type your answers. You can share out in a different way. You can participate in a different way while still being on that virtual class. It's really great for both introverts and extroverts. And you'll be learning and you'll be engaged. And teachers are right now planning your first week of getting to know you activities. And I'm just really excited for fun classes.
Yeah.
But all our classes are going to be recorded, so teachers know that they're on the spot to make them as fun and cool and engaging and learning and worthwhile and valuable to you. So you actually learn something from each and every one of them that's going to get you closer to your goal of graduating and being successful and whatever your college or career pathway is.
Darn Skippy. Well, if you are turning into the recording and you have questions or comments, please give us a call. Again, you may need to leave a message during the break, but we would be happy to return your call as soon as we get that message. Or you can shoot one of us an email. Our emails are here on the screen, and because it's a recording, you can hit pause and use that email address. You can also find our email addresses on our website at hopehighschool.org under staff, or going to the student portal and clicking on contact information. But we will be back here on Wednesday, December 30th. Until that time, please have a wonderful break. Please stay safe. And we look forward to seeing you in Zoom or Google Meets or wherever it is in your virtual classes.
Back at school.
Back at school.
See you in a virtual class January 4th. I'll be popping into all your virtual classes and stopping by to say hi.
All right. Well, have a happy new year.
Bye.